The Grand Hall of the Galactic Interstellar Council hummed with quiet confidence. 700 alien delegates filled tiered seats carved from the bones of dead moons. The Vreth, tall, gray, and ancient, occupied the highest platform. Below them sat the Corindal, the Sci-Fi, the Mauvin, and dozens of lesser species who had clawed their way into galactic civilization over thousands of years. Earth had been a member for 11 years. 11 short, unremarkable years. Ambassador James Harlow of Earth sat in the lower tier, the section quietly nicknamed the nursery by older species, reviewing his notes on a slim datapad. He was a broad-shouldered man from Columbus, Ohio, with gray at his temples and the calm eyes of someone who had stopped being surprised by things a long time ago. Today, the council was voting to strip Earth of its mining rights in the outer belts. The Vreth elder, Councillor Dravak, spoke in the translated galactic tongue. Earth's presence in Sector 9 creates instability. Their extraction methods are primitive, disruptive. The Council moves to reassign those territories to Corindal jurisdiction. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Harlow didn't look up from his datapad. The motion passed, 412 to 1. Earth's single vote, cast by Harlow, was the dissenting one. Councillor Dravak looked down at the human with the patient amusement of someone watching a child lose a board game. Ambassador Harlow, the Council acknowledges your objection. Earth will be compensated with a trade credit of. That won't be necessary. Harlow finally set down his datapad. The chamber went quiet. Not politely quiet. Suddenly quiet. The way a forest goes silent when something large moves through it. I'm sorry. Dravak said. Harlow stood. He wasn't the tallest man, but something about the way he rose from his seat made several delegates in nearby rows shift uncomfortably. We don't want the credit, he said. What I'd like, instead, is to table a counter-resolution. Effective immediately. Dravak's secondary eyelids flicked shut, the Vreth equivalent of a frown. You have no standing to table a counter-resolution. Earth is a Tier 4 civilization. Was, said Harlow. As of 43 minutes ago, Earth formally reclassified itself. Harlow pressed a button on his datapad. Every screen in the council chamber flickered. A document, thousands of pages long, stamped with the seal of the United Earth Defense Commission, materialized on every delegate's personal display simultaneously. The title read, Voluntary Capability Disclosure, Full Transparency Filing, Earth, Sol System. The room didn't erupt. It froze. Councillor Mauvin of the Sci-Fi, a species renowned for their intelligence, was the first to speak, and her voice carried genuine disbelief. These energy readings, this propulsion data, are accurate, Harlow confirmed. This vessel class listed here, Mjolnir-type dreadnoughts, you have 14 of them? 14 commissioned. 6 more in dry dock. He paused. We've had the first one since 2387. The silence that followed was the kind that changes the shape of a room. General Wade Cooper of the Earth Fleet, sitting quietly 3 rows behind Harlow, in civilian clothes, as he always did at council meetings, allowed himself the smallest smile. It was elderly delegate Taurus of the Corindal who finally voiced what every species in the room was thinking. Why, he rasped. Why hide this? For 80 years you sat in the lower tier. You accepted insults. Trade penalties. Territory seizures. His voice cracked with something approaching awe. Why did you let us treat you that way? Harlow looked at him for a long moment. Because we didn't want to scare you, he said simply. Another silence. Deeper this time. Humans have a complicated history, Harlow continued, his voice even and unhurried. We know what it looks like when a powerful civilization shows up and starts throwing its weight around. We didn't want to be that. He glanced around the chamber slowly. So we watched. We learned how you operated. We gave you every opportunity to treat a smaller species with basic decency. He picked up his datapad again. Today's vote told us everything we needed to know. The reclassification was processed in under an hour, the fastest in Council history. Earth moved from Tier 4 to Tier 1. James Harlow's new seat was on the highest platform, beside Councillor Dravak, who had not spoken a single word since the filing went public. Around the chamber, delegates whispered to one another in a dozen languages, frantically cross-referencing 80 years of interactions with humanity against the capabilities documents still glowing on their screens. General Cooper, now in full uniform, took a seat in the row just behind Harlow. He leaned forward and said quietly, "You know they're terrified." "Good," Harlow said, without looking up. "Fear is temporary. Respect lasts." He opened a new document on his datapad, a draft treaty, already written, already generous, already offering more than Earth was required to give. Because that was the thing about humans that the Council had never understood, and was only now beginning to grasp. They hadn't been weak. They had been patient.